Emergency Betts is furious at his teammate's infamous mistake. Roberts is disappointed with Hernandez's remarks and decides to punish him. Shohei Ohtani's unexpected reaction is a hot topic. MLB Dodgers. Tyler Glasnow stood like a blood-soaked warrior that day. Even with blood oozing from the fingers of his right hand, he stood tall on the mound and completely silenced the opposing batters with fastballs exceeding 150 km/h and sharp breaking balls. His appearance of holding the opposing team to no hits through the sixth inning gave the stadium spectators confidence that they could win that day. However, this seemingly perfect stage suddenly collapsed in the seventh inning. The pitch he threw to the battle-hardened hitter Carroll was too soft and disappeared into the right field stands. The atmosphere in the stadium froze in an instant, and a small smile appeared on Glasnow's face. Furthermore, his bad luck piled up, and he was hit with consecutive hits by the following hitters, and the poor response from the defense added to the damage. The change from Gaia was disrupted, the relay play was delayed, and he easily conceded additional runs. It was a moment when the team's overall slackness became apparent, something that could no longer be fixed by individual efforts. The Dodgers, who were supposed to be dominating the game, lost everything in just a few minutes. Glasnow's Chikarishima will be recorded, but it did not lead to a victory. He was not the only one who collapsed. The pride of the defense, the lack of concentration, and the fragility of the organization. These factors combined to plunge the team into the abyss. In the fifth inning, the Dodgers had a golden opportunity. Shohei Ohtani was at bat in an ideal situation with runners on second and third. The moment he caught a high fastball from opposing starter Rodriguez and hit a big fly ball deep into left field, the stadium stood on its feet, and everyone was convinced that this would be the first run. It was a good enough hit for a sacrifice fly, and one could imagine the sight of the third baseman leisurely returning to home plate. However, those expectations were betrayed in an instant. It was Enrique Hell, who started from third base. Ohm ran as fast as he could toward the plate, but he did not choose the crucial slide. Gaius Agorial Jr.'s laser-like fastball landed right in Hoshino's midfield, and he dove for touchdown. At that moment, Hernandez was touched around the waist, and before his feet could reach the base, he was ruled out. The stands at Nemoto's home plate were filled with sighs and dirt, and the Dodgers bench demanded a replay review, but the call could not be overturned. The atmosphere in the stadium suddenly turned cold, and from the commentary booth, Jorge Davis shouted that he should have slid. The first run that should have been a sure thing disappeared, and instead of gaining momentum, the entire team was swallowed up by a heavy atmosphere. In an interview with Sportsnet after the game, Mookie Betts, unusually, did not try to hide his anger. He stepped in front of the microphone with a grim expression and said in a forced voice, "I'll be honest, I'm very disappointed. In that situation, I clearly signaled him to slide from the on-deck circle. I knew Gurl's research was intense and accurate, so the only way to get a home run was to slide. I knew that, so I intentionally sent him the signal, but he either didn't see it or ignored it." Betts continued, his words getting stronger and his emotions getting the better of him. Quote, "At this level, on this stage, you can't just stand there and run into home. We're a team that wants to win, and that decision is too costly. I think I did my job. I gave the signal clearly. But when it wasn't executed, the result was clear to everyone. We lost a valuable chance to score first, and the rest is history." Lett's words were a clear signal to the team's lack of initiative and focus, and they also sent a message of continuity to the entire team without placing the responsibility for the game on just one player. Enrique Hernandez, who spoke to reporters in the locker room after the game, remained strong in the face of criticism. He began by calmly saying, "Some people call that play an amateur mistake, but I don't think so. I've been playing in the MLB for a long time, and there's no way I wouldn't know when to slide. In that moment, I trusted my speed and the extra length of my stride. I thought that was enough, and that's why I made the decision to go straight for it." He then continued, as if he was aware of the criticism he would receive. "I've heard that Letts was signaling me to slide. I certainly saw something on the bridge in front of me, but at that time I was running as fast as I could as a player, and I understood the situation with my own senses. That's why I trusted my instincts. The result didn't work out, but I can't accept that it was simply a stupid mistake. I take responsibility for my decision, but I can't be taken lightly." Manager Dave Roberts stood in front of the microphone at the post-game press conference without hiding his anger. He spoke frankly. "Honestly, that play was a big mistake. Any professional player would have known that they should have slid in that situation. You can't ignore cues from your teammates or rely solely on your own instincts." Roberts continued, raising his voice and speaking sternly. "Hajime seems to insist that he wasn't wrong, but I'll make it clear, that was a serious apology. That split second changed the course of the entire game. If that decision hadn't happened, things would have turned out very differently." And towards the end of the press conference, the manager made a decisive statement. Hajime would be benched for the next game. This decision wasn't to punish him, but to send a message to the entire team. No one on the Dodgers is allowed to talk lightly about standing up. If we're going to win, we have to prioritize team strategy over individual judgment. We're a team that sticks to standing up, and that's the only way to win. Shohei Ohtani's composure shone through when Dawson finally scored in the 7th inning. He held out until the count was full, read the ball carefully, and chose the ball. Immediately after, he connected on Mookie Betts' timely hit, which produced the team's only run. Although his batting performance wasn't impressive, it was his level-headed focus that opened the way for the team to make a breakthrough. After the game, Ohtani reflected calmly, choosing his words carefully. He tried to hit the ball as far as possible so that it would be a sacrifice fly. He made his own decision, but the result was not what he wanted. Baseball is a sport where the flow of the game can change with split-second decisions. He went on to mention that Betts was giving him signals. He heard that Betts was giving him the signal to slide. It would be a shame if that wasn't conveyed correctly. Teams move instinctively, but at this level, sometimes it's more important to trust your teammates' signals than your own intuition. In closing, Ohtani concluded by saying something that was reassuring to his teammates. Everyone makes mistakes. The important thing is to learn from them. Kiyoshi will surely come back stronger, and we all need to make sure we don't make the same apologies over and over again. His words exuded a sense of responsibility as a leader who wanted to turn mistakes into a step forward rather than blame them. The Dodgers' defeat cannot be explained by just one base-loading error. Glasnow's Rikishima collapsed in the 7th inning, the defense was disorganized, the bullpen allowed additional runs, and the offense missed numerous late chances. All of these factors combined to produce this 16-game losing streak. Still, the scene that will be remembered as emblematic of this game is the 5th inning attack, when Shohei Ohtani's secret pitch resulted in a phantom sacrifice fly. The first run, which should have been scored, came in for a scare, all because of a single decision by the team. That moment was the decisive turning point that cast a shadow over the Dodgers of today. A team that was supposed to have assembled a star player lost its momentum, found its unity, and gave up victory because of a single misjudgment. The scene vividly demonstrated the fragility that lurks behind the splendor. And the boos that filled Dodger Stadium at the end of the game were not simply disappointment at the team's performance, but a stern warning to the entire organization.